Students, in this session we will be going to discuss about the problems of urban planning. So this is a very problematic to maintain the cities or towns or urban areas as because of the population. ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನಗರದ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒದಗಬಹುದಾದಂತಹ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಗರ ಯೋಜನೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂಲಭೂತವಾದಂತಹ ಕಾರಣ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಒಂದು ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಷ್ಟಕರವಾದಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನಿರಬಹುದೆಂದು. Urban local bodies or local governments implement urban development strategies. Urban local bodies are elected by the people. Planning and development for major cities and urban regions are done by the urban authorities, metropolitan regional development authorities. These authorities are functionaries. Institutions under the state government. Spatial plans need to be accounted for to address issues on integrated land connectivity, landfills, urban drainage networks, land requirements, and a range of related urban complexities. Without spatial plans, it is extremely difficult to completely address the issue plaguing infrastructure in Indian cities. ದೇಶದ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಕೇವಲ 28% ಮಂದಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವುದಿದ್ದರೂ ಭಾರತದ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಎಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ನಗರಗಳು ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಮಂದಿ ನಗರವಾಸಿಗಳಿಂದ ತುಂಬಿ ಹೋಗಿವೆ. ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಆಡಳಿತದ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಆರಂಭವಾದ ನಗರೀಕರಣವು ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ದಶಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಬಿರುಸಿನಿಂದ ಸಾಗಿದ್ದು ಅದು ಅನಿಯಂತ್ರಿತ, ಅಸಂತುಲಿತ ಹಾಗೂ ಅಸಂತುಷ್ಟಿದಾಯಕ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಲುಪಿದೆ. ಅಂತೆಯೇ ಭಾರತದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಮುಖ ನಗರಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಹಲವು ಬಗೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಂದ ಪೀಡಿತವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಅವು ತಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮರ್ಥವಾಗಿ ನಿಭಾಯಿಸಲಾಗದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಲುಪಿವೆ ಎನ್ನಬಹುದು. ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಗರಾಡಳಿತಕ್ಕೆ ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿ ಸವಾಲುಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಒಡ್ಡಿವೆ. ಭಾರತದ ನಗರಗಳು ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ದಶಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಭಾಯಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿರುವ ಅಥವಾ ಎದುರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿರುವ ಹಲವು ಸವಾಲುಗಳು ಇವೆ. Most of our cities have grown in an unmonitored and uncontrolled manner, which has led to the manifestation of various problems such as overpopulation, overcrowding, traffic congestion, environmental pollution, unemployment, as well as the general deterioration of urban amenities, which have in turn precipitate. The basic concern of city-town planning is the internal form, structure, function, and appearance of urban areas. Physical aspects such as buildings, roads, land use, etc. play an important role in urban planning. At the same time, social, economic, and technological forces should also be considered while planning so that a healthy environment is created in the city or town. ನಗರಾಭಿಮುಖವಾದ ಅನಿಯಂತ್ರಿತ ಜನವಲಸೆ ಕೈಗಾರಿಕಾ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯ ದಿನಗಳಿಂದ ನಗರಗಳ ಕಡೆಗಿನ ವಲಸೆ ಆರಂಭವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಇಂದಿಗೂ ಅದು ಜಾಗತಿಕ ಮಟ್ಟದ ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನವಾಗಿದ್ದು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಲೇ ಇದೆ. ಭಾರತವು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಪವಾದವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಭಾರತದ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ನಗರಗಳು ಅತಿಯಾದ ಜನವಸತಿಯಿಂದ ತುಂಬಿ ತುಳುಕುತ್ತಿವೆ. Although India is one of the less urbanized countries of the world, with only 27.78% of her population living in urban agglomeration or towns, this country is facing a serious crisis of urban growth at the present time. Whereas urbanization has been an instrument of economic, social, and political progress, it has led to serious socio-economic problems. The sheer magnitude of the urban population haphazard and unplanned growth of urban areas and a desperate lack of infrastructure are the main causes of such a situation. The rapid growth of urban population, both natural and through migration, has put heavy pressure on public utilities like housing, sanitation, transport, water, electricity, health, education, and so on. Poverty, unemployment, and underemployment among the rural immigrants, beggary, theft, dacoits, burglaries, and other social evils are more rampant. Urban sprawl is rapidly encroaching the previous agricultural land. The urban population of India had already crossed to 85 million mark by 2001. By 2030, more than 50% of India's population is expected to live in urban areas. Following problems need to be highlighted and addressed very seriously. Urban sprawl are really expansion of the cities both in population and geographical area of rapidly growing cities is the root cause of urban problems. In most cities, the economic base is incapable of dealing with the problems created by their excessive size. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ 27ರಷ್ಟು ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ 10 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ಅಧಿಕವಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಮೆಗಾ ನಗರಗಳೆಂಬ ಅಭಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರವಾಗಿರುವ ಕೋಲ್ಕತ್ತಾ, ಮುಂಬೈ ಹಾಗೂ ದೆಹಲಿ ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿನ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ತಲಾ 1 ಕೋಟಿಗೆ ಅಧಿಕವಾಗಿದೆ. ಉದ್ಯೋಗಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ, ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ವ್ಯವಹಾರದ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಗರದ ಬಗೆಗಿನ ಆಕರ್ಷಣೆ ಇಂತಹ ಹಲವು ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚುತ್ತಲೇ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಎನ್ನಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. Massive immigration from rural areas as well as from small towns into big cities has taken place almost consistently, thereby adding to the size of cities. The first large flow of migration from rural to urban areas was during the Depression of late 1930s when people migrated in search of jobs. Later during the decade 1941 to 51, another 1 million persons moved to urban places in response to wartime industrialization and partition of the country in 1947. During 1991-2001, well over 20 million people migrated to cities. The greatest pressure of the immigrating population has been felt in the central districts of the city, where the immigrants flock to their relatives and friends before the search for housing. Population densities beyond the old city disciplined sharply. Brush has referred to this situation in the central parts of the cities as urban impulsion, which results from concentration of people in the center of the city close to their work and shopping. Incidentally, many of the fastest growing urban centers are large cities. This is due to the fact that such large cities act as magnets and attract large number of immigrants by dint of their employment opportunities and modern way of life. Such hyper-urbanization leads to projected cities size of which defy imagination. Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, etc. are examples of urban sprawl due to large-scale migration of people from the surrounding. ಕೋಲ್ಕತ್ತಾ, ಮುಂಬೈ ಹಾಗೂ ದೆಹಲಿ ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿನ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ತಲಾ 1 ಕೋಟಿಗೂ ಅಧಿಕವಾಗಿ ಉದ್ಯೋಗಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ, ಉನ್ನತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ವ್ಯವಹಾರದ ಕಾರಣದ ನಗರದ ಬಗೆಗಿನ ಆಕರ್ಷಣೆ ಇಂತಹ ಹಲವು ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿನ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚುತ್ತಲೇ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಅದು ನಿಭಾಯಿಸಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗದ ಮಟ್ಟವನ್ನು ತಲುಪಿದೆ. ಜನವಲಸೆಯನ್ನು ತಡೆಯಲಾಗದ, ಹಾಗೆ ಬಂದು ಸೇರಿದವರನ್ನು ನಿಭಾಯಿಸಲಾಗದ ಮತ್ತು ನಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸಿಸುವವರಿಗೆ ಕನಿಷ್ಠ ಮೂಲ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸಲಾಗದ ಸಹಾಯಕ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅನೇಕ ನಗರಾಡಳಿತ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿದೆ. In several big cities, wealthy people are constantly moving from the crowded centers of the cities to the more pleasant suburbs where they can build larger houses and enjoy the space and privacy of a garden around the house. In some cities, the outskirts are also added to by squatters who build makeshift shacks of unused land although they have no legal right to the land. The difficulty of restricting town growth is either case is immense, and most towns and cities are surrounded by wide rings of suburbs. Historically, suburbs have grown first along the major roads leading into the town. This type of growth is known as ribbon settlement. Such sites are first to be developed because of their location near the roads give them greater accessibility. ನಗರಗಳು ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೂಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರೂ ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸಿಸುವವರು ಸಂತುಷ್ಟಿದಾಯಕ ಜೀವನ ನಡೆಸಬೇಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಪೌರ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯಗಳು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಲಭ್ಯವಾಗುವಂತಿರಬೇಕು. ವಾಸಿಸುವ ಮನೆ, ನೀರು, ಬೆಳಕು, ಸಂಚಾರ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯ, ಉತ್ತಮ ರಸ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಚರಂಡಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ, ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಹಾಗೂ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯ, ಆರಕ್ಷಕ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇವುಗಳೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಒದಗಿಸಿಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. But soon the demand for suburban homes causes the land between ribbon settlements to be built and made accessible by constructing new roads. This type of development is known as infill. Simultaneously, small towns and villages within the commuting distance of major cities are also developed for residential purposes. In this way, towns are continuously growing. In some areas, the suburbs of a number of neighboring towns may be close together as to form an almost continuous urban belt, which is called conurbanation. Urban sprawl is taking place at the cost of valuable agricultural land. Overcrowding is a situation in which too many people live in too little space. Overcrowding is logically consequence of overpopulation in urban areas. It is naturally expected that cities having a large size of population squeezed in a small space must suffer from overcrowding. This is well exhibited by almost all the big cities of India. For example, Mumbai has 1/6 of an acre open space per thousand populations, though 4 acre is suggested standard by the master plan of Greater Mumbai. Metropolitan cities of India are overcrowded both in absolute and relative terms. Absolute in the sense that these cities have a real high density of population, relative in the sense that even if the densities are not very high, the problem of providing services and other facilities to the city dwellers. ಈ ಹೊಣೆಗಾರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಸಮರ್ಥವಾಗಿ ನಿಭಾಯಿಸಲಾಗದ ಅಸಹಾಯಕ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ನಗರಾಡಳಿತ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇದೆ. ದೇಶದ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಪೌರ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಹಳೆಯ ಕಾಲದವುಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದು ಈಗಿನ ಸಂದರ್ಭದ ಅಗತ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಪೂರೈಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ಅವು ಅಸಮರ್ಥವಾಗಿವೆ. Delhi has a population density of 9,340 persons per square kilometer as per the census 2001, which is the highest in India. This is the overall population density of the urban territory of Delhi. Population density in central part of Delhi could be much higher. This leads to tremendous pressure on infrastructural facilities like housing, electricity, water, transportation, employment, etc. Efforts to decongest Delhi by developing ring towns have not met with the required success. Housing. Overcrowding leads to a chronic problem of shortage of houses in urban areas. This problem is specifically more acute in those urban areas where there is large influx of unemployed or underemployed immigrants who have no place to live in when they enter cities or towns from the surrounding areas. ನಗರವಾಸಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅನನ್ಯ ಸೇವೆಗಳನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸಲು ಜಲಮಂಡಳಿ, ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಶಕ್ತಿ ನಿಗಮ, ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಕಾಮಗಾರಿ ಇಲಾಖೆ, ದೂರವಾಣಿ ಇಲಾಖೆ, ನಗರ ಒಳಚರಂಡಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಇಲಾಖೆ ಇವೇ ಮುಂತಾದ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನೀಡಲಾಗಿದ್ದರೂ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಬಾರಿ ಇವುಗಳ ನಡುವೆಯೇ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಹೊಂದಾಣಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕರಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆಯುಂಟಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ ಎಂಬುದು ತಿಳಿಯಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹಾಗೂ ಇಂತಹ ನಗರ ಮಂಡಳಿಗಳ ನಡುವಿನ ಸಹಯೋಗ ಸಂಯೋಜನೆಯ ಕೊರತೆ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎದ್ದು ಕಾಣುವಂತಿದೆ. An Indian sample survey in 1959 indicated that 44% of urban households occupied one room or less. In larger cities, the proportion of families occupying one room or less was as high as 67%. Moreover, the current rate of housing construction is very slow, which makes the problem further complicated. Indian cities require annually about 2.5 million new dwellings, but less than 15% of the requirement is being constructed. The Census of India 2001 concluded the first ever and the largest survey of household amenities and assets and points a never before profile of problem relating to housing in India. The outcome is both instructive and amusing. Taking India as whole, there are 179 million residential houses, that is about 6 people to each house. 39% of all married couples in India, about 86 million, do not have an independent room to themselves. As many as 35% urban families live in one-room houses. For about a third urban Indian families, a house does not include a kitchen, a bathroom, a toilet, and in many cases there is no power and water supply also. Only 79% urban households live in permanent houses. 67% of the urban houses are owned by the households, while 29% are rented. Several factors are responsible for the above mentioned sad state of affairs with respect to housing problems faced by the urban people. The major factors are shortage of building materials and financial resources, inadequate expansion of public utilities into suburban areas, poverty and unemployment of urban immigrants, strong caste and family ties, and lack of adequate transportation to suburban areas were most of the vacant land for a new construction. ದೇಶದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಹಾನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಳಚೆ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚುತ್ತಲೇ ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ, ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸಿಸುವ ಕೊಳಚೆ ನಿವಾಸಿಗಳ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚುತ್ತಲೇ ಇವೆ. The problem of unemployment is no less serious than the problem of housing mentioned above. Urban unemployment in India is estimated at 15 to 25% of the labor forces. This percentage is even higher among the educated people. It is estimated that about half of all educated urban unemployed are concentrated in 4 metropolitan cities. Furthermore, although urban incomes are higher than the rural income, they are appallingly low in view of high cost of living in urban areas. One of the major causes of urban unemployment is the large-scale migration of people from rural and to urban areas. Rural-urban migration has been continuing for a pretty long time, but it has not only always been as great a problem as it is today. The general poverty among the rural people pushes them out to urban areas to migrate in search of livelihood and in the hope of a better living. But the growth of economic opportunities fails to keep pace with the quantum of immigration. The limited capacity of urban areas could not create enough employment opportunities and absorb the rapid growth of the urban labor force. Efforts made by the central and the state governments to create employment opportunities in rural areas and to check the large-scale rural-urban migrations have not met with such success. Slum and squatter settlements. The natural swell of unchecked, unplanned and haphazard growth of urban areas is the growth and spread of slums and squatter settlements, which present a striking feature in the ecological structure of Indian cities, especially of metropolitan cities. The rapid urbanization in conjunction with ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಲಮ್ಸ್. ದೇಶದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಹಾನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಳಚೆ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳು ಹೆಚ್ಚುತ್ತಲೇ ಇವೆ. ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ, ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸಿಸುವ ಕೊಳಚೆ ನಿವಾಸಿಗಳ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚುತ್ತಲೇ ಇದೆ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ 1961ರಿಂದ 1991ರವರೆಗಿನ ಅವಧಿಯ ಅಂಕಿಅಂಶಗಳಂತೆ ದೇಶದ ನಗರಗಳ ಒಟ್ಟು ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ 12.45% ಮಂದಿ ಕೊಳಚೆ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ರಾಜಧಾನಿ ನಗರ ದೆಹಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿಯೇ 44% ಮಂದಿ ಕೊಳಗೇರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆಂದು, ಅವುಗಳ ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣ ಹಾಗೂ ನಿರ್ಮೂಲನೆ ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿದೆ ಎಂಬುದನ್ನು ಊಹಿಸಲಾಗದಂತಹ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. The proliferation of slums occur due to many factors such as the shortage of developed land for housing, the high prices of land beyond the reach of urban poor, a large influx of rural migrants to the cities in search of jobs, etc. In spite of several efforts by the central and state governments to contain the number of slum dwellers, their growth has been increasing sharply, exerting tremendous pressure on the existing civic amenities and social infrastructure. In India, slums have been defined under Section 3 of slum areas as areas where buildings, area in any respect unfit for human habitation, area by reason of dilapidation, overcrowding, faulty arrangement and design of such buildings, narrowness or faulty arrangement of streets, lack of ventilation, light, sanitation facilities, or any combination of these factors which are determinantal to safety and health morals. Squatter settlements. ದೇಶಾದ್ಯಂತ ನಡೆಸಿದ ಸಮೀಕ್ಷೆ ಕೂಡ ತಿಳಿಸುವಂತೆ ದೇಶದ ನಗರ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಸುಮಾರು 52,000ರಷ್ಟು ಕೊಳಚೆ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಿದ್ದು ಸುಮಾರು 8 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕುಟುಂಬಗಳು ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸಿಸುತ್ತಿವೆ. ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಅಂತಹ 65% ಕೊಳಚೆ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾನೂನುಬದ್ಧ ಪರವಾನಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಥಳೀಯ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮಂಡಳಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿದ ಭೂಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳನ್ನು ಆಕ್ರಮಿಸಿ ಬೆಳೆದು ನಿಂತಿವೆ. No clear-cut distinction can be drawn between slums and squatter settlements in practice, except that slums are relatively more stable and are located in older inner parts of cities compared to squatter settlements which are relatively temporary and are often scattered in all parts of the city. especially outer zones where urban areas merge with their rural hinterland. Normally, squatter settlements contain makeshift dwellings constructed without official permission. Such settlements are constructed by using any available material such as cardboard, tin, straw, mats, or sacks. Squatter settlements are constructed in an uncontrolled manner and badly lack essential public services such as water, light, sewage. Such an environmental leads to several health problems. Determining size of squatter settlement is a difficult job. Some may occur singly or in some small groups of 10 to 20 dwellings, while others occur in huge agglomeration of thousands of houses. They can occur through organized rapid invasions of an area by large number of people or by gradual accretion family by family. Transport. The with traffic bottleneck and traffic congestion, almost all cities and towns of India are suffering from acute form of transport problem. Transport problems increase and become more complex as the town grows in size. With its growth, the town performs varied and complex functions and more people travel to work or shop. As the town becomes larger, even people living within the built-up area have to travel by car or bus to across the town, and outsiders naturally bring their cars or travels by public. Whenever trade is important, commercial vehicles such as vans and trucks will make problem of traffic or complicated, since most of the commercial activities of the towns are constructed in the central business district. The centers are areas of greatest congestion. However, other parts of the town are not free from traffic congestion. Such areas include the roads leading to factories, offices, schools, which will be through with people in morning and evening. Minor shopping centers which grow up in the suburbs, sporting arenas, entertainment districts which will be busy at night. Roads leading to residential and dormitory towns which will be busy when commuters flock to the cities in the morning to work and return home in the evenings. Such congestion becomes greater when the center is built up in tall skyscrapers, blocks whose offices sometimes employ thousands of workers, because at the end of the office hours everyone leaves the building within a short space of time to make their way home. This puts tremendous pressure on public transport and causes journeys to take much longer period than they normally would. In most cities, the rush hour or peak traffic hour lasts for about 2 hours, and during that period buses and trains are crammed to capacity, roads are overcrowded with vehicles, and the movement of traffic becomes very slow. In other towns, the narrowness of the streets, which were built long before the motorized transport, and lack of parking facilities are the main cause of congestion. The traffic scenario in almost all the Indian cities present a pathetic picture, with Mumbai still having the best city transport system and Chennai, Ahmedabad and Pune being reasonably well served by local transport system. In all other cities, if one does not own a personal vehicle, great hardship is experienced in moving about in the city. Apart from that, the level of incomes and affordability of Indian masses is very low, and the citizens are not able to pay an economic fare for use of public transport system. Therefore, all city buses services sustain such heavy losses that they cannot really expand or even maintain a fleet adequately to meet the city needs. Moreover, mixture of vehicles causes uncontrollable chaos on the roads. Free movement of stray cattle and domestic animals on the roads adds to traffic problem and often cause accidents. Heavy traffic and congestion lead to slow movement of traffic, fuel wastage, environmental pollution and loss of precious time. A study of traffic problem in Delhi will acquaint us to scenario in the rest of urban India. The road length, however, has not increased proportionately. The road length per vehicle was 3 kilometers in 1977, which reduced to 2 kilometers in 1981. Figures depicts different aspects of transport infrastructure in Delhi. Urban planners say that by 2021, going in a car will take longer time walking. The guidelines for Delhi Master Plan allowing mixed land use, multi-storied structures and regularization. Planning Department of Delhi government also states that despite roads occupying 21% of the total area of the city, the increase of traffic on arterial roads is resulting in lower speeds. Some relief is expected with the completion of metro rail, but experts fear that by the time the metro rail becomes fully operational, the demand for transport facilities will outpace the capacity of both roads and rail transport. Similarly, conditions prevail in most of the Indian cities. In Kolkata, metro rail and Vivekananda Setu were constructed to ease traffic flow, but traffic congestion in several old localities and new Howrah Bridge is almost a daily routine. In Ahmedabad, the speed of vehicles comes down to 5 kilometers an hour on Gandhi Marg and several other roads due to congestion and overcrowding.